Just real briefly, want to shout out to the student section. Man, that was pretty amazing. Matter of fact, getting an opportunity to go back and watch the film, I couldn't keep but looking at that end zone. And both end zones were incredible. So, man, that the new end zone seating and the students being in the end zone is something really special. And so that was something that was the highlight of the evening, and something that was pretty cool. So that's something that really stuck out to me, and obviously that's going to really make this place a very difficult place to play. Questions?
Joe, here. Coach, just want to get your thoughts. Do you think Saturday's game was another, maybe a little wake-up call to the team that you can never underestimate an opponent, regardless of conference?
Not really. I mean, we've pretty much moved on to the next week. I mean, it goes down in the column as a win, and no one will ever talk about it after this week. Obviously, very difficult, like I said before, very difficult scheme to play. Going back and looking at the film, it was just, we missed some opportunities. We had a penalty on the fumbled punt. I tell you, that was one of the positives too, that, I always point out when things don't go well, but to point out when things that really go well was Matt Hawk's punting was absolutely, he's a weapon when he punts the ball that high. And I think they fumbled two of them, but that was a big deal. We just missed opportunities. We scored here or there quick. It would have been different. But bottom line is that all over the country those things happen, and you want to persevere and come out on top, and it make you a better football team for that. So that's just one you check off the list and you go to the next one. It's not we don't have to have wake up calls every week. We don't have to have any of that stuff. It's going to work, and the other team is. I don't think our guys. We're taking them lightly, or we had good, solid practices. We come off playing a really difficult road game. Things are never easy, and I think obviously there's some things we've got to work on and get better at. And but we did improve in a lot. I thought we improved dramatically in special teams, and our return games were pretty explosive with a lot of different returners. I thought we punted the ball incredibly. Obviously, Zane is kicking the ball off. That is a major factor when we get into conference play, to have the ball kicked off like that. I thought we made lots of strides there and getting better. We struggled with some assignments against the triple option and a team that run it pretty good. And so we basically, like when I got done, we gave up a little over 330 yards of total offense, and we gave up 345 or 375 against Navy. The difference was we scored. And so that type of offense is, anybody that really knows football, is dramatically different. I mean, it's 3rd and 8, and they're running it's a completely different game than what we play. And matter of fact, I've got a major opinion on that I think when we talk about safety of our players, they should make it illegal to cut within the line of scrimmage. We talk about taking care of kids, and you got guys taking on somebody, and somebody's cutting their knees. That's just that shouldn't. I mean, really. I mean, if you want to get into safety, and I know there's a big focus on that. That's something that they should make illegal. And obviously, we got a lot of people hurt because of that. And so that scheme was very difficult. You know what? Hey, our guys showed great heart and determination to finish and win. And so that's about it. Our guys had a great practice today. We're moving on, and that's for you guys to fill up paper and talk about all that crap that don't matter. But you go win. Are we playing our best football? No, we're not. We got to get better. There's some things that we can do that. We got to get faster with our tempo. But we have a solid group of guys that that I still, there's not any wavering on our part on what we're doing. Don't apologize for anything. We'll look and play every game, and then evaluate at the end of the season. So it's a win, and I'll tell you this: could have been a lot worse. A lot worse is losing. So it was a positive to face adversity like that and win is good. And you guys know that. I hate those games. because it's a very difficult deal because and you know, like playing A&M was a really positive because of the atmosphere and all that. Now you go in and you're playing that totally different thing. It's kind of hard to swing back and forth. So we probably didn't do as good a job as a staff preparing them, and we had less time to do it. So. But I feel good about it because the way our guys responded and went and got, you know, overcome a lot of adversity and won the football game. But lots of positives: the punting game, Matt Hawk, special teams. You know, I don't know. We ran the inside zone really well. Hopefully, we can get guys healed up and get guys back on the field. That's the biggest negative coming out of that game. I'll tell you, I'm not worried about anything else about what their mindset is or anything. I'm worried about guys getting healthy because we got a lot of people that are not. Yeah, you know, I don't know exactly what you know, where we're at as far as. I'll know more today. I'll be able to tell you a little bit more tomorrow about where each person is. A lot of ankles, a lot of you know, rolled up ankles and stuff like that because of and not really the cut blocking, but the post chop blocking. And there was a lot of that in that game, and it got called once, but there was quite a bit of that in there. So. But Kalen was at practice today and feeling better, and obviously, you know, I don't know anything more than that, and we're hoping to get him back sooner than later, and we'll have a little bit more idea of where we are with all the other guys specifically tomorrow. We didn't really practice. We practiced, but we weren't in pads today, so we're trying to give him an extra day to heal up a little bit.
Todd, can you talk about the spark you got from Tim White and Cody Cole with their plays in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing now. Our quarterback, he makes some incredible throws, and that's one thing that's really encouraging about it. And then Tim, obviously, is a guy that's a dynamic player. I thought he did great things. I think he's going to do some great things in the return game. So he was very dynamic for us. We need him to, you know, that's the biggest thing too. You know, we need some explosive plays, and that's something that's been slow going that we should be able to generate with getting guys in open spaces. It's hard to go 13 plays and execute and score all the time. So, you know, that's something we've got to look at. The other side of it that's been tough for us is trying to keep everybody healthy. You know, we've had 2 new tackles the first game, then we have a new tackle the second game, and I mean we got another guy hurt. I mean, so we got to keep guys healthy so we can practice and keep getting, you know, and improve and get better. So, but Cody Cole did a great job. I think he's probably playing a little bit too many snaps. I mean, he was pretty gassed. But, man, he's doing a great job. And I told you that at the beginning of the year. I thought he was in a position to really have a solid year and that was one of the best throws, one of the best catches on the second to last touchdown, I believe it was. So both those guys did a great job.
Todd, you guys were excellent last year at ball security. It's been kind of an issue the first 2 games. Any particular reason why?
I don't know, but I know one thing. I'm not happy about it. You know, you're exactly right. That's a good observation because we've put the ball in jeopardy more in 2 games than maybe we did the entire season last year. Not just the time we've turned it over. You know, we fumbled the ball 5 times in the first game, lost it twice. Just putting the ball on the ground, and you know, it's 21-7 with 2 minutes and something left in the half. We've got the football. We just made a first down. You go down and make 28-7. Now it's a regular deal, and turn it over on your own end. That's the second week in a row that we've done that. And so we got to take care of the football, not put the ball in jeopardy. We're bobbling punts. We bobbled 2 punts that could have been catastrophic for us. So it's something we start practice with every single day, and it's the most important thing. You know, some of the things that we've done that's helped us win football games is probably the most important stat has been that we've been one of the top 3 or 4 in the country in turnover ratio over a 3-year period. And that is critical. That's getting takeaways, and that's taking care of the football. And we've had a great tradition here of not, you know, especially the fumbles, especially, you know, getting hit and fumbling the football. I think our running backs have been one of the best, you know, in taking care of the football. But we had, you know, a fumble at running back in week 1, and we had, you know, the fumble the other night. So it's something we've got to emphasize and continue to emphasize, and nothing is more important than that in ball security and taking care of the football. So that's something that we start practice with every day, and we end practice with it every day. and something we've got to improve upon, because those are the things that when we come in and sit down and talk, the first thing I talk to the offensive staff about is two things. Tempo, we're not going fast. We need to be going fast. We got to get our tempo going, and two is ball security. And obviously the issues that, I felt like, we've done some good things. I think we established the inside zone a little bit better the other night. I thought that was good. But the ball security is a major issue. And then, we need to hit some explosives. And that's, yards after catch, hitting guys on the run. And they were kind of bailing off the other night. We just could, just take the short passes, stuff like that. So some of that stuff are things that, and obviously we wanted to really work on running the football. And I think we made some good strides there and got better. But those are kind of the things that I talked about: tempo, ball security, and explosives. That's the thing we need to work on. It's too hard to drive the field all the time. You got to get some cheap ones and manufacture some of those.
Coach, following up on that, with regard to the tempo issue, how much of that is not getting into first down kind of rhythm? And then are you guys kind of settling in still with your personnel, especially given some of the injuries or the unavailability of players who kind of play multiple types of roles?
Yeah, I'll tell you what's been very disruptive for us is, obviously we lose Kalen the day before the first game. Now we got Gump has an issue. You start having some, those are guys that are key players in what we're trying to accomplish. And then, Nick Kelly didn't practice last week all week. We had, Evan didn't practice all week last week, and you got to practice. And so one of the things that's kind of been a disruptive for us is just nagging injuries, not things that are season ending, just nagging injuries. And so we got to get healthy and so we can practice and get better there. So the tempo, when I'm talking about the tempo, is just us understanding that we want to go fast. Obviously, the first down is the key. But when you see those big chunk gains, when you get a big gain, man, we should be going warp speed. And that's something that we just got to, and we're working very hard on that this week.
Coach, the fact that you're facing another triple option team this week, and the fact that you just faced one last week, I'm not saying maybe an advantage, but maybe a little easier preparation than it was?
Yeah. No, we did a really, really poor job. It was very simple. And you could see at halftime, when we came out of halftime, we came out and we got some things corrected. We were basically just, running up the field and just kind of, doing a little freelancing. And you can't do that, especially against a triple option team, because, the dive's the first thing you got to stop and all that. So this is a different triple option team. It's not an under center. It's not a Navy flex bone deal. This is a gun triple option type attack. Their quarterback and running backs are faster. And so it is a challenge. It's got to help because, we've gotten quite a few reps at the option, but I don't know how much it helps you going in the season. That's one of the things I don't like because there's so many things you have to specifically do. But, that's the way it is. You got to play somebody. But they are very explosive. They gave us fits last year. A very well-coached football team, very capable, big play capabilities. But we just got to be assignment-oriented and take care of your responsibility, and that's a big part of it for us.
This has nothing to do with this week, but do you think we'll ever see a defensive player win the Heisman Trophy?
Do I think? No, I don't. There's never, it's so difficult, especially, it would have been a lot easier 25, 30 years ago because, back when I was growing up, people valued defense, not that they devalue it now, it just doesn't sell tickets, it doesn't make people get excited but everybody that, if you win a championship, you're going to have it. So I just think it's really hard. Maybe if a guy was a two-way guy, maybe he could have a chance to win the Heisman. Heisman's always going to be the one scoring points and putting numbers up on the board. That's what I think. Do I think that's right? No. I think I'd love to see them reward the best defensive football player in the country. There's been years where that's been close to happening, I guess, but I think it's pretty difficult to happen because, it just, even at that, one of the things that, if you look back over and read the clippings, as at different places I've been, I was very careful early on as a head coach to label myself as a defensive-minded coach. Many people, when I was at Tulsa and stuff, I was like an offensive guru because I called the plays some there and did that. And because it's tough to get a job. People want to hire the guys that are scoring all the points. So I think that's kind of part of the game, and that's okay. That's part of the game. It's okay. There's some pretty exciting dynamic. This is entertainment. It's part of our culture. And so those guys making dynamic plays are the ones going to win that award. And so it's really, I think it's really difficult for just a straight one-way defensive guy to win it. But not that it can't be done.
Todd, you mentioned last week you wanted to get DJ more involved, and it seemed like you were able to do that. Can you just talk about his role and what he was able to do?
Yeah, I don't know. I think he had close to 20 touches, something like that, which is about right. He's, and you could tell, we put him in the backfield some, and he really took what usually is Kalen's role, Balaj, and did a nice job. But he was still, you had to knock a little rust off on the inside zone tracks and stuff like that. But DJ's a consummate competitor, and we've got to get him. He's the guy. We got to get him the ball in space, and I think it'll be one of the things that'll really help us offensively is when we do get Kalen back. It will help us tremendously because I think that that dual backfield allows us to do a lot of the things with DJ we want to do that can create, plays in space where he can score. When I think of the things that I want to do with DJ is like I try not to think too much about the conference championship game in 2013, but like the first half, the bubble passes, the things, and he's taking a bubble pass and taking it to the house. That's the kind of things that he can do for us. Tim White can do those things for us. Devin Lucian can, but we made so many mistakes with our new receivers and routes, depth of routes, and the first week we're running into each other, just really, and that's what and that's been a little bit chaotic, trying to get all that cleared up because that's not, we didn't do a lot of that in practice. So I think the key for us is with DJ is getting him the ball and trying to get him the ball in space as well. But he's a guy you need to hand it to, give it to him on a speed sweep, but he can run the ball inside as good as anybody. And he's really tough and physical. He's got great ball security. But I like to see him catch some hot passes, some screens, some bubbles, and let him get out there and get running. That's one of the things that I want, that we need to get going is just more opportunities, getting the ball, catching the ball quick, and letting our guys run with it. So that's something we're trying to work on.
Coach, how big is Friday's game, being that it's the final tune-up before conference?
It's every game's a big game. We our focus is to get better every day, every rep. You see the sign over there on the wall. We're trying to be 1-0. We hadn't said anything about being 2-1, just 1-0. That's what we're trying to do. And obviously, this game is important to us to gain momentum going into conference play that starts off in a big way. So, our big thing is, hopefully getting guys healthy so we can practice a little bit the next 2 days and then coming out and playing to our potential. And, we've done some good things to this point, but we hadn't played to our potential. And we need to, get things hitting on all strides instead of, playing good here or good there. But we've had a lot of positive things and positive signs. But this game's important, just like any other game. But it's very, very important that we have momentum going into the conference play the next week.
Coach, over here, where do you think Mike's confidence level is at right now? Just 2 tough games to start off the season. Where do you think he's at confidence-wise?
Mike
Berkovici.
Okay. I think his confidence is very good. I'm gonna tell you this: that ain't the problem. We got a real quarterback. Quarterback is really good. I mean, can really locate the ball, really make good decisions. Obviously, he's very coachable. He's like having a coach on the field. I've been very impressed with where he's at. And, I mean, being a quarterback is like anything. I mean, when you're in a leadership role, I like that he doesn't get too high, he doesn't get too low. But I like his intensity. I mean, he's got some passion. I mean, he's a passionate guy. I kind of watch how he does things that he does, and he's not a guy that's easily wavered. He's waited his turn. He's busted his tail. He's got a lot invested here, and he's just not going to be. I think he's solid. He's solid, and he's a kind of our rudder. I mean, he's a guy that's pretty steady. He's a guy that the players listen to. He's probably the most vocal leader we've had since we've been here. That'll actually get after somebody and say, "Hey, you need to get going." And so I think his confidence level is fine. I mean, and like I say, this game, what we're doing is all about winning, and the level of time that these guys put into this stuff. Obviously we wanted to go out and score 70 points and win 70-0. Well, that didn't happen. Well, we faced great adversity and we came out on top and won. Mike's confidence is great. I think the key for us is, we've had some misfortune a little bit as far as with people getting sick and with some injuries and stuff like that. We got to get that behind us and get some consistency in what we're doing, and I think that'll help us a great deal. So this week is big we need to go out and play our best football game, because this is where it's building up to, because after this week, it starts counting, and it counts big time.